home to less worrying, fast, safe, get home for winter.
So, a very good evening to you out there, and welcome to the Property Hour show live on Star Radio UK. And this and every Thursday by the privilege of technology. And you know what? I'm super excited. I'm buzzing and I'm filled with joy. Why? Somebody will say, we're in a new month, it's a new year, and for this particular guru that I'm going to introduce to you, you will love him the moment you glance at him because of the heart that this man has got, and I love him to bits. And you know what? We are streaming on so many platforms. If you've joined us, thank you. And we are streaming on Twitter, which is now X. It's at Star Radio UK. We are also streaming on Facebook. On Facebook, we've got a couple of pages. KB Bossman Facebook page, Star Radio UK fan page, Star Radio UK Facebook page as well, and Achihemon, so many of them. On YouTube as well, we are streaming, and also on www.starradiouk.com, and on our amazing interactive app you can download and listen on the go, and that is on Android or Apple. And let me say that thank you to our sponsors, Kerry's Furniture, one company on 2 continents in America. They can deliver to everywhere from Caracas to all the way to Banjul in Gambia. They can deliver to your doorstep. Why don't you look out for Kerry's Furniture on Facebook or on Twitter, Instagram? You can, that's Keris, is KHARIS Furniture. Quality speaks for itself and is durable, and you get a 15% discount because you use the promo code Star Radio UK, and also www.cigpropertyuk.com. cigpropertyuk.com. If you're looking to buy in either in Africa, if you're looking to invest in Africa or in the UK, look no further. I'll give you more details about this company and what they are doing, and also M&M Concept. If you're looking for a company that will give you quality, value for money for all your graphic designs, and also whether you're coming up with a book or any kind of print works and also designs, it's M&M Concept. Amazing company. They can deliver on the titles of deadline, and Katie and the team doing an amazing job. And so you can connect via us and we'll give you a discount as well. So tonight, let me bring on the one and only, the indefatigable. I call him the man of the moment, the guru when it comes to property in the UK. And he's none other than a very good friend and a brother. And he's doing some amazing stuff. He's the founder of Property Entrepreneurs Network, which is taking the UK and the world by storm. We'll get into that. And he's none other than Jack Dawhra. And Jack, thank you so much for joining us tonight. And I believe you're doing well.
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you. Yes. How about yourself?
I'm beaming, and I'm filled with joy, and I'm excited that once again we've managed to get you on. I'm super excited about what you bring to the table, what you bring to our viewers, and there's so much for everybody to learn whenever you are on. And let me say that thank you for making time. You're a very, very busy man, I know, but then you make time for things that are also important as well. And is to educate and also get people to learn and get into the industry. So, Jack, thank you once again. And how has the year begun with you?
I actually decided to spend loads of time with family.
Okay.
And I have been for the past 6 months. Been lucky enough to have that freedom of time and money and location. So it started pretty well. Yes, thank you.
Oh, that's great, because there's nothing like family. There's nothing that can be compared to family. That is where we are born, and that is where we are put to rest. So it's very key, very important, and vital in every aspect. So great choice you've made out there. And let's get into the industry and an outlook of 2024. What is your take on the industry in the UK? We can start from the UK.
So even though past performance isn't the indicator of performance, but it does give you a little bit of insight into what could potentially happen. I don't think anyone can give you an accurate answer there. But what my understanding is, it's going to take at least 2 to 3 years. I mean, they officially announced recession, I think it was like a month and a half ago.
Yeah.
In UK, and I believe it's going to take at least 3 years for that official perception to be removed and people going back to normal business. We're talking about 24, 25, 26. We should be back in it end of 26, maybe 27, early start 27.
Oh, 2027. Yeah. That's a long time. We that's a very long time.
Unfortunately, that's the case, because if you were to look at the last 100-year stats, it's normally a 7-year cycle,
right?
And that has broken by COVID, and with a very, very long time of low interest rates between 2008 and sort of 2022.
Yeah.
This is probably going to stretch longer than shorter, unfortunately, for those who may not want to listen to this, but at the same time, that's what the on ground reality is.
Mm, mm. And with regards to, one of my friends, before I came into the studio, a friend called and he's looking to is it a remote gauge or something like that, and the one okay, so he's spoiled with choice, and he's got his bank chasing him, and he's also got the opportunity of a broker, working with a
Mhm.
broker, and they've presented him with a 2 year, 5 year, and a 10 year deal as to locking him up in terms of the interest rate. And he was asking me that what's the best choice, and I'm like, I'm not a broker, but they will always tell you that things can change in the industry at any moment in time. So you can stick to the 2 years. Is this something that if you're talking about 7 years, then possibly I have to go back and tell him that he has to stick to 5.
Yeah, I think it depends a lot on the risk appetite. If
Okay.
someone's got a much higher risk appetite, they can go for a shorter term, maybe like a 2 year.
Mm.
But if they haven't got if they have got a lower risk appetite, they can go for like a 10 year one.
Right.
Uh, I believe the most balanced one at the moment is more like a 5 year deal.
Mm. Okay. That sounds interesting. I
Yeah.
hope he's listening and he's not going to come back and I'm no broker though. But thank
Check,
you.
check the risk appetite.
So, in terms of topic for tonight, which we want to dive into, now I always love to, for the sake of the first timers that are watching or will be watching and other stuff, I always want to talk about your journey, which to me is inspiring, and I talk about you. I talk to people about your story to encourage them, to get them to not to give up, but always to try again. But most importantly, get the right information because that is where it starts. So a little bit about your story will help, and then we'll come back to the main topic
Sure.
for tonight, please. Thank you.
Yeah. So, I mean, I always share this, and I share this with a lot of humility.
Mm,
I came with literally 300 pound in my pocket to UK about 24 years ago,
right.
and initially for the first sort of 3 4 years, I went to 18 jobs. I've worked as a chef. I've worked in factories. You know, I literally have tried everything that you can imagine.
Mm.
Uh, literally working as a stock controller. I remember working in a shop where the guy said, you don't know how to sell. And I'm looking at his face, what do you want me to do? Like pick up people from street and bring them here? So I've been through that cycle where, especially being an immigrant, it was a
Mm.
lot more tougher. And to a point where I didn't have enough money to eat. I was suicidal. I was
Wow.
emotionally down. I was psychologically down.
Mm.
I was financially down, and I just literally felt like the end of the world for me back in those days. I'm talking about 20 plus years ago.
Yeah.
Uh, um, I was in my early 20s, and then being able to build a company from that point on. I was running a chauffeur company, a luxury taxi company. I built that company from scratch to 7 drivers working for us.
Mm.
We sold that company back in 2014. I was an accidental landlord. I started buying properties at early age. In 2003, I bought a property. I was only 23 years old, and I kept buying at every step of the way properties, buy-to-let properties. But back in those days, I didn't have enough property knowledge, if I may say so. But I was building on what you call, you know, being able to do a. It's almost like a startup, and you're building on a startup.
Mm.
I was it's almost like learning the hard way persuasion, leadership skills, creativity skills, problem solving skills. I was learning all those skills like on ground reality of walking into my office,
Mm.
40 plus drivers sitting around, not have enough business, and I would go and pitch for work. Or I would turn up on days when there's loads of work and there's not enough drivers. So I'd pick up the phone and start calling, 200 drivers,
Yeah.
just to make sure, 20 of them turn up to work. So I was going through that phase while I was buying property because I was making money within the business.
Yeah.
Uh, but I was working really, really hard, I must say, because you've got one side where you work hard for the business, and then you get to a point where you know what, it's not necessarily about chaos, it's about working smart.
Mm.
Back in those days, that was not me. For me, it was just work hard, make my money, buy some properties, and build it that way. And then eventually, when we sold that business back in 2014, I started consulting, and then we started PN, which is Property Entrepreneurs Network, world's first property-focused social media platform, in 2017. And I also started working as a finance broker because I'm a qualified financial advisor. I was educating myself. I was not watching TV like most people did. I
Mm.
was reading books like very much. It's almost like obsessively reading books, taking trainings, taking mentoring. I was literally surrounding myself with the kind of people that I looked up to,
Right.
and that kind of helped in the journey. And at the same time, when we launched PEN, uh, at one point PEN was a 500,000 people network, till we really got hurt by Facebook banning one of our groups, which was like a 450,000 people group.
Oh my
So
days.
just it's almost like ups and downs, and I still see those ups and downs.
Mm.
As soon as the COVID ended, I remember I was looking at the network. 500,000 people network. We were closing deals pretty much every week.
Yeah.
Uh, you know, and then I said, okay, you know what? Let's just do something with what's happening within PEN. We ended up taking on 4 hotels for ourselves.
Mm.
I was managing 4 hotels, leading a network of 500,000 people. There's deals happening pretty much every single week. Like I said, either it is property deals or finance deals. I remember at one point we were sitting on roughly about £400 million worth of finance deals alone.
Mm. Wow.
And I remember doing one of the deals was like a £14 million funding deal. We did that. Then I did another one which was like I think it was like a £2.3 million funding deal. Another one was a 4.1 million funding deal. So there's loads of things happening which a lot of people don't see at the front end, and the back end.
Mm.
Like I said, I was at one point in my mid-20s, I was suicidal.
My.
And getting from that point, getting to a point where I have a multi-million pound portfolio. I've been traveling India, spending time with my family for the past 6 months,
Mm.
without having to worry about money, purely because a lot of the business is on automation. There's loads of rental income coming in. There's hybrid management of the hotels. So hotels are being managed by other people for us. But like I said, getting from a point of being an immigrant, suicidal, not having money, to
Mm.
maybe necessarily, like literally not having enough money to eat,
Mm.
to a point, getting to this point, it's just not been an easy journey, but at the same time, challenging, but very, very interesting. Because when you put a challenge in front of me,
Yeah.
I look at it and say, you know what, I'm just going to make it. That's the kind of spirit I have been lucky enough to develop within myself.
Mm.
And that's the way I think, that's the only way I think there is, to live an amazing life.
Thank you so much, Jack. But one more question, then we go to the main topic. What has been your drive? The lows and the highs, and I mean everything. It looks like you've, I mean, almost done everything when it comes to a job, and also you have been resilient. You've been focused. You've been dedicated to the course. What is your drive?
Main driving force is purely family. Like
Mm.
there's absolutely no doubt about
Mm.
it. Family. I've been a family kind of man since a very young age. That's the kind of culture I grew up in. Always looked up to my dad. Being that person that I wanna be. it's almost like that expectations of my dad
Mm.
that was a driving factor as well. Uh, Good expectation, positive expectation. Because there's sometimes negative expectations as well, but I had positive expectations. So that was also a driving force, but always family. But I think there's another force that I want to share with everyone, which you know everyone must have,
Mm.
which is you must create within yourself
Hmm.
that I want to live a quality life.
A
I want to live
quality
a
life.
quality life
Mm.
because everyone lives,
Yeah.
not everyone really lives.
Say that again.
Everyone lives, but not everyone really lives.
Amazing.
Uh, so creating that life quality life experiences is also been a major factor.
Mm.
And I wanna drive a nice car.
Mm.
I wanna live in a nice house. I wanna make sure that I can take my holidays and travel the world and and then be able to give all of this to my kids, not money.
Mm.
Have that understanding of first of all help them skill up, and then at the same time uh, that 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 mindset of what I can do and achieve anything.
That's awesome. That's incredible. And let me tell you one thing that I've picked up since I've come to know you all these years is your positive energy. You have that aura around you that you're always positive about almost everything that is thrown at you, whether it's a question or a challenge. You're always positive, and that I really admire about you. That's great.
Thank
That's great,
thank you.
and keep it up. And with family, when you get that positivity, the sky cannot even be the limit. You can go beyond that. Thanks. Great.
In fact, I'll share with you a very quick story
Yeah.
here.
Yeah. Go
I
on.
think I was actually speaking at a very prestigious university
Oh
in
wow.
Delhi,
In that.
in
Oh
Delhi,
wow.
and it's actually one of the what they call the top tier one universities.
Wow.
And I was speaking there. I was the guest speaker, and the crowd was really challenging. Like I walked in, and
Mm.
it almost felt like they were sleeping. And there was a couple of speakers before me, and none of them could actually. No one could wake them up. And one of the speakers actually invited me on the stage. I think she already knew a little bit about me, so she said, "I'm going to ask you a question." I said, before you ask me a question,
Mm.
I want to ask everyone here. Please raise your hand if you want to have time, money, and location freedom. So all of a sudden,
Mm.
this question made everyone raise their hand. So they're now slightly up. Uh, and then the next thing I said is, raise your hand if you'd like to do your next deal, as in at 10 to 100 million.
Mm.
And no, now everyone's eyes opened up. And then I said, and I don't normally do that on a stage because sometimes it's not respectable to ask them to stand up. But they were all college kids,
Okay.
20 years old, half of my age. They all stood up with respect. And I said, put your hand on your heart and say, what, I'm going to make this
Mm.
happen. And it's almost like, what, I was given a really, really challenging crowd. And when I did that, they put their hand on their heart and say, if we're going to make it happen, we're going to make it happen. And then I asked them to sit down. And everyone started applauding because the previous speakers, no one could actually pick them up. And I
Mm.
woke them up, and everyone started applauding because now the physiology changed.
Yeah.
Uh, this is something I learned from Tony Robbins.
Oh
It's
wow.
not something that I've created or anything. If your physiology is good, you keep your spine straight, you keep your chest out, and you stand, things will happen for you. If you
Yeah.
look at the half glass full, things will happen for you.
Mm.
And that's just, I find that just common sense.
Mm. 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 That's great. That's wisdom. That's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you for that, and thank you for sharing. It's an inspiring story, and you've done well. And I've seen some of the pictures as well on Facebook. Great stuff you're doing out there. Now let's let's we'll come before we wrap up. We'll come back to what you're doing in terms of the younger ones and what you're doing, the impact you want to make. But let's talk about the property market prediction, which I think you talked about that just slightly, what is going to happen, and then we'll come to the deeper strategies to grow a portfolio. And so let's split it into two. But let's first tackle the property market predictions. What are we looking at? People are uncertain. There's uncertainty from government side. The country's in recession, and so there's so much happening at the same time. People don't know whether to invest now or just wait. I mean, there's so many things happening. What is happening?
Okay, so here is what most people don't know.
Mm,
When the government says it's recession,
mm,
what they're really saying is that they're not able to control inflation,
right.
and they're also, as a country, not making money.
Mm,
Remember, a government at the core is also a business,
yeah.
and when a business doesn't make money, that's a recession.
Yeah.
And when they're not able to control the prices of goods, that's when what you call a recession within a business.
Mm,
Okay, but as a resident of the country, let's say you live in UK, and what is it that you're supposed
mm,
okay
mm,
ignore recession, because government in and itself is a business, and it's a recession for them.
mm,
Doesn't have to be for you.
yeah.
Okay, so when a government says recession,
Mm,
that's always the best time to buy. It's a buyer's market.
it's a buyer's market now. Okay.
Buyer's market. In the last 2 days, I got two direct to vendor stock, one 20% discounted, one 25% discounted.
Percentage.
25% discounted, yes.
Oh,
Okay,
25%. Okay.
25% discounted.
Mm,
Now, if let's say you want to invest, okay, I'm gonna get to I will share with you also if you don't have a lot of money. But let's say you are an investor and you want to invest.
mm,
This is your time to go and buy properties and invest, because you're gonna realize these below market value deals when perceptively the government says recession is off. Remember, I said perceptive, okay?
yeah.
Because recession is a lot more perceptive as well.
Yeah.
So when government goes back to the news channels and say, "Oh, announce we are out of recession," you would be able to realize this 25% discount that you can easily get these days
Mm-hmm.
at that point. And at that point, the market is going to pick very quickly 10-20%.
Mm,
So you'd be able to gain 45-50% very quickly. This is going to happen in 3-4 years' time. So you could buy something now
yeah.
and have 40-50% gains in literally 4 years' time.
Mm,
Okay, you could refinance, could sell, whatever your strategy might be. I personally feel, purchase and hold, refinance 3-4 years later, pull out all your cash, go back, rinse and repeat, go up, buy more portfolio for passive income.
mm,
Simple. But at the core, this is your time to buy, because it's so much more easier to find below market value property. Like 20% is just commonplace. Like you could just go out in the market, put a lower offer, and you're gonna get the property.
mm,
Okay, that's where your market sits. What my observation has been, that because people listen to recession as in from news,
yeah.
they get scared and they stop buying,
Mm,
and that's where most people go wrong.
go wrong. Okay.
Okay, when most people are scared, that's your time to buy.
Mm,
When most people are buying, that's your time to stop.
mm,
Okay, this is when at this moment of time, most people are scared to buy.
mm,
They're just scared to buy. And I can tell you, behind the scene, we are actively buying. Okay, and we're gonna realize these profits or equity within the portfolio as and when we come out of the perceptive recession that we are in. Okay, so that's my prediction. So this is your time to buy. Make sure you buy at least 20% below. You can easily find 20%. If you have the patience and the skills, you can even find stock that's 30, even 40% discount. Okay, and so buy. This is your time. At the same time, we are in a very funny financial market.
Yeah.
When I say funny, um, even though interest rates are still kind of under control, 4.5, 5%, you can get a mortgage, even a buy to let, you can get one. Even under a limited company, you can pick one for like 5.2, 5.5. Funny in a way that the lenders are more strict. They are doing more checks. They are more conscious about your credit report. So there's a lot more happening. There are more products coming out which can help you build more equity into your portfolio, like self builds. They're also looking at 99% mortgages as we speak.
99%.
Yes, they're looking at them as we speak. The 95% are already available.
Sounds great. Are you talking about residential or buy to let? Residential. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, no, buy to lets you can't get any more than 75% as we speak. I think I know maybe one or two lenders who may do 80%, but it's really just 75%.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's where we are. Again, like I said, the unfortunate scenario is that people listen to news and they're just too scared to buy, while this is your time to buy, because you can easily pick 20-25% discounted stock. That's my observation. And if you don't have a lot of money to buy, I think this is controversial. I've shared this previously as well. Don't focus on rent to rent. Rent to rent is saturated. But rent to HMOs is still a growing market.
Rent to HMOs?
Yes. Still a growing market. Rent to rent is a saturated. So rent to HMOs, there is less compliance, there is less restrictions, there's less trouble. And rent to HMOs, if you can find maybe 5 landlords, one of them has maybe 5 or 10 properties, you could easily, I know personally someone scaled up to 7 properties, was making $7,000 a month, 24 years old.
That sounds great.
So if you're starting out and you don't have a lot of money around, focus on rent to HMO. You only need maybe a handful of landlords. Some of these landlords are baby boomers. They've got like 10, 20 HMOs.
Yeah.
They're going to give you 1 to test. They're going to give you 5, 10. You only need about 4 or 5 landlords like that. Each property can make you about £1,000. Some even more. You only need about 20 of these to make $20,000 a month.
That's true. Yeah. That's very true. Just that the headache of sometimes the tenants sometimes are just overwhelming.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. In fact, I shared a video. It's like trigger points, right? When you mention about stress of tenants, I did a video where I shared, the 3 levels of income. The first level is your technician, and this is coming from the book E-Myth, which I read maybe about 20 years ago, right? You have the technician, and then you have the manager, and then you have the leader or the investor within the business. When you're managing properties, you're at level 2.
Level 2.
You're at level 2. But when you get to a point where you've now got people who can manage properties for you, while you are just an investor and a leader, that's the level you want to be at.
Yeah.
And for anyone to be able to get to that point, you do have to go through all 3 levels.
So that you understand the concept and how
you understand the challenges, and then you you build a creative enough mind to solve those challenges. And like I said, you do need to go through every single step of the way. But once you do get to that point of being the leader and the investor, life is a lot more easier. At the same time, paradoxically, as hard, because then you're sitting on lesser profits because you're paying a manager a salary, you're paying technician a salary, but at the same time, it's a lot more easier because then you have a lot more time freedom, money freedom, location freedom, and so on and so forth.
Mm. That's very true. That's very true. And if you've just joined us, you're live on Star Radio UK, and the program is the Property Hour Show with the one and only Jack Dawhra. He's the founder of the Property Entrepreneurs Network, a network that if you want to learn, if you want to start in the property industry, it is the best place to start from. And there's loads of information that's available that Jack gives for free. The first time when we interviewed with my co-host Vicky, and Jack was talking about free, and after the show, I asked Vicky that is Jack serious at all to be giving stuff that people are charging thousands of pounds for? And at that time, I did not understand what he was doing, but today I do, because he was giving value, and values come back to him. And so, as he rightly said, now he can take that vacation and go over for 6 months and work. He can work from anywhere in the world. So, if you want to learn, if you want to start in the industry, hey, the best place is the Property Entrepreneurs Network. They've got every single tool and learning tools that you need, and we'll talk about that in a minute. And let me go back to Jack. And Jack, with regards to the second part of the conversation or the topic, the deepest strategies to grow the portfolio. I know you started off with the rent to HMO already. So for the newbies, how would they be able to start off, or where do they start from?
Again, this is something I already shared. If you're a newbie and you don't have a lot of money around and you are not as familiar with other strategies, start with rent to HMO. Okay, not rent to rent. I insist again, because rent to rent is becoming a lot more saturated, less profitable, and a lot more stressful. Purely because, not just because you make less money and it just becomes more management and so on and so forth, because of compliance as well. There's loads of compliance. There's loads of challenges within rent to rent. People booking for like a night or 2 nights or whatever, and they start partying and they break your place. And, there's loads of problems, right? While if you do rent to HMO, it's a lot more easier. Not completely easy, but it's easier than doing rent to rent. Rent to HMO also has more profits overall, and it's a lot lesser management, because you're taking someone for a minimum of 6 months.
Yeah.
So it becomes a lot more easier. And like I said, you only need to find 3-4 decent landlords with multiple properties, and you could be really flying with 10-20 grand a month income, and you don't necessarily need a lot of money either to start with.
Yeah.
And it doesn't even need, you don't even need loads of knowledge. It's just basic stuff. Finding landlords who've got HMOs, public information. You can get it from the local council. You can even get this information on propertydata.co.uk these days. And just by visiting local events, or doing your own local events, you can find these landlords. And being able to persuade them to give you properties, it's not rocket science. Simple stuff. Understanding a landlord's challenges. Most of these are, like I said, baby boomers, purely because those are the people who bought properties and kind of kept them and so on and so forth. They're tired landlords. The genuine reason for them to give you the property, because they just can't manage the properties that they have. And if you can prove your value, why wouldn't they give it to you? and being creative with your negotiation skills.
Yeah.
You know, all you need. So that's one strategy. I also feel because there are loads of below market value deals out there, as long as you use the right tools like property data, Land Insight, Nimbus Maps, even Google Maps, and Google Street Views, and all of the information that's available alone on Google. There's another one called labs.os that you can use to be able to find more land and development deals. If you know how to use these tools, or you can just start using these tools and learn as you go along. You can find below market value 20-30% very easily. Go and add value to these deals. Either it's a single unit PRR deal, which is buy refurb finance deal, or you do multi-unit deals. Like I said, you can find these deals through these tools that I just mentioned to you. Within property, I also feel that most people don't realize that the biggest profits sit in planning uplifts. But you do need to have a bit more experience for that. Being able to find these deals, being able to analyze those deals, negotiate those deals, then being able to get planning permission on them, and then negotiate these deals in terms of not necessarily you have to invest a lot of money into it. We did a deal back in the days where we took an option agreement on a large detached house. We only paid £1 for the option agreement.
Yeah.
And the agreed price of the option agreement was 1.1 million. It was a large detached house. We got the planning permission for 8 units eventually, and we sold the option agreement for 1.7 million, making a 600 grand profit of an investment of 20 grand alone.
Yeah.
We didn't develop. We didn't buy the property. We just took an option agreement, and we ended up selling that option agreement. So there's loads of profits to be made within planning uplifts alone. But you gotta know what you're doing. You gotta get the experience along the way. Like I said to you, you have to go through all 3 layers of being a technician. If you're a technician, what I'm saying is you could be a plumber, electrician, you could be a bricklayer, and so on and so forth. And then your second level becomes like a project manager, and the third layer eventually becomes you becoming a developer and a full-time property investor. So you do have to go through all of these layers to be able to realize the potential profits in these deals. One of the deals that we did, again, I want to share this so people can see through a bit.
Yeah.
We ended up buying a below market value hotel. We got a decent 50% discount.
What?
50% discounted property.
Wow.
We added another 8 rooms on top of that. It's a 31-bed hotel now. When we took it, it was a 20-bed hotel. 3 rooms were not getting used. Another 8 rooms we added into the hotel, and then now we are giving out the lease 5 years lease of that hotel. The rent we are getting as we speak is 47,000 net passive income coming to us. I don't have to worry about anything. Imagine being able to make that kind of net passive income.
Yeah.
I'm talking about net after paying your finance, mortgage, everything. We don't have no mortgage, no nothing on it. I'm the same guy who started. Okay, so you can do deals like that, as and when you get that knowledge and you start implementing behind the scene. And I've only been able to get to this point purely because I was just driven. I was surrounding myself with the right people. And then learning to pitch for money, learning to negotiate your deals. These are not very difficult skills to learn, but you do need to invest time. You do need to invest your energy into it, but you can learn.
That is the key as to the availability of people looking to get into the industry, and also, like as you said, land. And I have this that I share, that when you get into any industry or an avenue that you've gotten into, you have to, number one, learn, unlearn, and relearn, which will
That's very important.
which will definitely give you a new start, a better perspective, and real focus on what you set yourself to achieve. So I agree with you. And the one part that you've not mentioned tonight is how you spend time in all your busy schedule, how you are able to get time to read. That, I mean, that baffles me.
Will tell you. I'll tell you again one thing. You know, if you're in UK, I'm sitting in Delhi at the moment.
Yeah.
Let's say you're in UK, or you could be anywhere in the world. Doesn't really matter.
Mm.
You always drive, right? You drive or you travel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, that's my time. I don't even waste a minute of me listening to any music or anything. I mean, I love music by all means, but at the same time, I don't like. I'm just really focused on. I'm going to listen to a book.
Mm.
Okay, I consciously take days out of taking trainings from people who are ahead of me in the game. You know, either it is planning game, either it is development game. I always go and shadow developers. Uh, you know, uh, there's been times when I have young kids, so when I come home, sometimes my wife is tired. Maybe she can't do the dishes. We'd get a maid. Once a week she'd come and clean. But when I come in the evening and my wife is tired because I've got a really naughty kid, she'd tell me, "Can you help me wash the dishes?"
Yeah.
If I'm washing dishes, I've got my earplugs on. I'm listening to a book. When I'm in the gym, I'm on the treadmill, I'm listening to a book.
Wow.
When I'm driving, I'm not doing anything else. I'm not talking to people. I don't jump on calls with people for half an hour. I'm only on a call with someone for like 2 minutes. The rest of the time, my earplugs on and I'm listening to a book. So, in fact, this is something I share. I like sharing this, right? My digital Audible library is 600 books at the moment. Okay, I have read well over 1,000 books in my personally, and purely because it's like what I'm driven to get to a point where I don't want to look back at my life and say I didn't give it my best. I just don't want to be that way. I want to give the best, and when I say the best, I don't just mean in terms of how I want to make money. Money is just a byproduct, right?
Yeah.
You bring value into the market, you're going to make money. But what I mean by the best is I'd be able to look back and say, I actually served this world. That's the feeling I want to. If I was to give you a very quick example, right?
Yeah.
Where I live in Delhi, it's a very posh place. Like it's like the Richmond of London. Okay.
Right.
Okay. That's the kind of space I live in. But irrespective of where you live in India, there's still poverty. Like I can go down the stairs. I'm on second floor at the moment. I can go down the stairs. I can still see so much poverty. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Okay. So I have a vendor right outside me who sells chickpeas,
Yeah.
with Indian naan.
Yeah.
Okay. So when I go past, in the last 6 months that I've been here, I think there's 7 or 8 instances where someone would ask me, "Can you buy me food?" And every time I look at the vendor and say, "Can you just treat these guys and I'll pay you?" Okay. Now this vendor, I've known this guy for 28 years since we've been in this property. This property is my dad's property. He's known me for like 28 years. He's my age guy, So he says, "Don't worry about it. I'm gonna feed them," and then I go back and pay. That feeling, that happiness of being able to serve another human being.
Yeah.
That is just sometimes is very difficult to explain, but at the same time, it's so strong in me that when I see someone in pain, I really want to just help. Like I don't care about money. I don't care about anything. I just want to really help if I can. The challenging bit that I find is most people don't follow you to the. What happens is they would listen to a little bit of you, and then they would go and listen to someone else for a little bit, and that mixture doesn't work. Okay, if you're going to listen to someone who's ahead of you, inspires you, just listen to one person. Listen to one. Don't listen to 20 people and mix it all up. Okay,
Yeah.
So if you're going to listen to one person, just go with that person. It doesn't really matter who it is.
Mm.
That's what I find challenging, and I'm still kind of trying to work out a way to deal with that in my life.
Mm.
But I just want to really help people out, like really genuinely, if I can share something that might help someone, create a better life for their kids. I don't think anyone would be a more luckier person.
Mm. I like that, and that is all humans are for. Because what when you achieve, I was talking to an elderly person, and he said he gave this analogy, just like what you've said, giving back to the community. And there's going to be always people that will be in that category. Life is in phases and men are in sizes. And so if you get to a particular level and you see people down there, and you look down upon them, they are the same people that we say. There's a proverb in the Ghanaian language that says that the same people you see when you're going up, they are the same people you meet when you're
You're going
coming
down.
down.
That is true. That is
so
absolutely true.
so
That is absolutely.
you are hitting the right note, and you're doing amazing. Because you know what is it about this? Before coming to the studio, there's a young chap. He is a deputy finance minister for Ghana, and we lost him this afternoon. He died, and people were like, "This guy has struggled to become. He's got a doctorate in finance and all those stuff, and young man. I don't know if he's even 40 years or just coming up too. And when you look at such things, how people struggle to get to a particular place in life, you lose it like that. And people that are around you, that just like the people that you are giving that opportunity to have a meal for a day, you have touched their heart, you have touched their soul, and forever in their lives, they will be grateful to you. And what is life about? So, I'm with you on that. We need to get to a place where we can get people. There was an advert, is it by the UNICEF? I think it's UNICEF. They were advertising that lift one. That when you lift one person, you are lifting others as well. That way, you are
That is
giving the world a bit. You are making the world a better place for
that's right.
everybody to also have an opportunity, because the poverty is all over. In the
Yes,
UK, it's rampant.
we can clearly see it. Yeah, I mean, I was there, and I can clearly see people just struggling to even get money for food, and they'd wait for Tesco's
Mm,
8, 9 o'clock
yeah.
clock so they can pick up food for
Mm,
cheaper because it's about to go out of date.
yeah.
I could see that very visibly. In fact, there was a research that came out of Tesco's and Sainsbury's, 300% rise in food sold after 8 o'clock, which is about to go out of date. 300% rise. Yeah,
300%. Wow.
people would actually wait for 8 o'clock, so they would put these on, lower prices because it's just out of date the next night. 300% straight rise. Yeah,
That's people's dinner.
yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Mm. I mean, there's a lot to talk about, but our time is almost our time is almost up, and we've got like 5 minutes to wrap up. But I believe that you're going to come back and give a bit more to our audience and listeners across the nation and across the world as well. In wrapping up, what would you I'll always, because I do get questions, and so I'll always get questions to ask. What would you say that in in the challenges that you've had that you thought you were going to give up? I'm very much aware of what you said, positivity and all the stuff, but where was it that you said, you know what, this I don't know what to do, but I'm going to give up?
I will share that with all my.
Mm,
I'll share that.
mm,
Um, Back in my, I'm 44, so
mm.
just for the sake of context, I'm sharing this.
Yeah,
Okay?
yeah,
Back in my early 20s,
yeah.
I was, and this is hindsight, I was a bit more arrogant. I was a bit more ignorant.
Mm,
I wasn't as nowhere close to as aware as I am now.
yeah.
Okay, so I didn't quite get along with my dad,
Mm,
and it was absolutely nothing to do with my dad and everything to do with me.
mm-hmm,
Uh, but one thing I do remember that every time I'd speak with my dad, there was always an argument.
mm,
Okay, and I remember giving up that I'd ever be able to get along with my dad. I'd ever be able to live up to his expectations.
right.
Okay? It's almost like I gave up. I remember I was working one day. I did an 18-hour shift. I was 22, 23 years old. I came back home like 12 midday when I started, like 5 o'clock last evening,
Mm,
and I went to bed crying like non-stop for hours on end. Just the whole world was crashing down on me, uh, and 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 that was one of the biggest challenges that I faced.
mm,
And
wow.
and and the way I look at it now, that was like a blessing in disguise.
Mm, okay.
So your toughest days are always your blessing in disguise. You just cannot see that. If you are in that moment now,
Mm,
you just can't see it at the moment.
right. Okay.
Just have the patience, and then create the drive to come out of that situation.
Mm,
And once you do, your hindsight will be okay. You know what? I can see why it was a blessing.
mm,
Okay. So for me, it was a blessing in disguise because I needed to shed that ego.
mm,
I needed to shed that entitlement mindset.
mm,
Okay. And once that kind of, I started to get along with my dad, had some amazing time together, and then I remember him telling me one day, you know, you are kind of becoming that person that that I wanted you to. Okay, and if you always look at challenges, we are emotional beings.
yeah.
The challenges are always emotional, and you can come out of all of this. Every challenge that you have in front of you,
Mm,
I can assure you, you can come out of it
mm,
as long as you have the humility, or you create that humility within you and say, you know what, not an ego game.
mm-hmm,
It's more about how I can help another person, serve another person. And the biggest thing, one of the biggest things that I've learned in my life is when you start to serve another human being
mm,
or other people around you, you naturally, it's a process of becoming more successful yourself.
okay.
And when you look at sales skills, people talk about sales and they have this negative perception.
Yeah.
When you stop selling
Mm,
and you start serving,
mm,
not just that you make other people successful, you become successful in the process.
wow.
And
Wow.
again, this is all of it going back to us being emotional beings,
Mm,
and coming out of any situation that you might be. The easiest way is go and start serving.
mm,
Go and help the person that, if you are going through some mental challenge,
mm,
you go and help the person that's next to you. The likely is that you'll find a solution to your own mental challenge.
mm,
And this is something I just observe that not most people realize.
mm,
They just don't realize that. Mother Teresa said, you know, She was asked, how do you help so many people? She
Mm.
goes, I don't. I only help the person that's next.
Amazing.
One person at a time.
Mm.
That is all it is. Even business, life, and everything around you is a game of serving another person. And if you serve that person to the best of your intentions and the best of your ability,
Mm.
you're gonna be a happy person, and you're gonna be a successful person at the back of that as well.
Amazing. Amazing. I love that. Wow. I mean, focusing on serving, and there's a kind of energy uh, that that you exact when you get into the service zone and you're giving all. There's that joy, and just like what you said
Amazing.
about um giving to those lads that um they were looking for a meal to eat. That's service. That's you giving back. It's a joy, and I like you using not selling but serving, which changes the narrative, changes
Yeah.
the whole setup, and it turns the whole system into a free flow. And the more serving is like giving, and when you give, definitely you are sowing seeds, and when you sow seeds, seeds will bear fruits, and when you get fruits, I mean, everybody enjoys, and that's amazing. Jack, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. I mean, we can go on and on and on and on throughout the night, but I know it's very late.
I want to share something very
No,
quickly
no,
with
no,
3 quick
gone,
seconds.
gone. Come on,
I,
come on,
I shared this morning as well in the college. I said,
gone.
I'm the same kid. I'm literally the same kid
Mm,
that absolutely no one in this world believed in.
mm.
Absolutely no one believed.
Wow.
Like, I don't remember one person
Mm,
in my 20s and mid 30s, till about mid 30s,
mm.
that absolutely no one believed in.
Wow.
And I took that as a driving force
Mm-hmm.
to make sure that it does happen for me. You know,
Mm,
and now when I look, almost every person that didn't believe in me now supports me.
mm,
Okay, so when people throw bricks at you and they don't believe in you,
mm,
they don't have to. You just have to believe in yourself. Go and make it happen for yourself.
mm,
And when you do, you don't have to do nothing. Those people will realize themselves.
mm. Wow. Mm. So this is a game changer statement. I mean, this particular statement is a game changer. When people don't believe in you, hey, you've got to believe in yourself. They are not as important as yourself. As Jack has just made us aware, people did not even believe that he could become this great.
Anything, anything at all.
Anything
I
at
could
all.
not amount to anything whatsoever.
Oh my, oh my. That is a story that you have to. I mean, if you've just joined us, you've missed out. But the good news is that you can do a replay on all the social media platforms and keep sharing. These are the inspirational moments that you need to capture the younger lads. And as I said, Jack, I want to find out, is there a new project you're embarking on with regards to
Yes,
the college students? Is it a new project?
yes,
Okay,
yes.
that
So what we are doing behind the scene is
right.
we are now at a point where I have invested quite a lot of my money and time into what I call the tangible assets, the
Okay,
property.
okay,
Now we are heading into more equity side. So we're launching an app called the Unicorn app,
okay.
which will help incubate tech startups alone.
Tech
Okay,
startup. Okay,
tech startups. So early stage startups, when they're at family friends round, we are gonna not just incubate, and we're not just going to incubate, but also invest into those projects.
mm,
And we're launching this Unicorn app in, well, it's worldwide, but we are mainly focused on 3 countries, uh, mainly states as in Silicon Valley, and
okay,
then we have India, which is kind of the second Silicon Valley.
That's true.
We have quite a few multi-metropolitan cities here. We're
Mm.
launching them here,
Mm.
and then we are also launching this in UAE.
Okay.
And so I'm invited. I've been getting invited into quite prestigious universities here in Delhi.
Right.
As we speak, I'm also invited on the 12th as well to the university. So I'm kind of going out, serving people, sharing the story behind the scene,
Mm.
and then, they can. We're launching this app in about a month's time. They'll be
Okay.
able to go and get loads of trainings behind the scene for free. And then if they want to pitch us ideas, they'd be able to do it through the app itself, load their decks, and then one of our team members will come back. Yeah, that's something that we've been working on behind the scene. The app will be called Unicorn.
Unicorn.
We are in the process of creating the next tech unicorn.
Wow. Wow. We're gonna have conversations behind the scene. We'll talk about a continent you've forgotten about, but we'll talk about that.
I know where you're going
Yes.
with this.
We'll talk about that behind the scenes, and that's great. We wish you all the best. We know that you succeed and still keep the flag flying and make us so proud. It's a great journey. We're backing you in prayer. We're backing you, standing with you, and we believe that you be the next Tony Robinson to change your world. I believe in you. I believe
Thank
in
you.
you.
And at the same time, Bossman,
Yes, sir.
I promise you,
Mm.
I am coming with you
Okay.
to the country and the island that you tell me, the continent that you tell me. I am coming with you.
Okay. That is going to happen. Don't worry.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Jack. It's been a great time. I love every moment of it. And before you go, I mean, for people that want to learn more about the industry, the property industry in the UK through Pen, if you can give them some bit of information, that'd be great, please.
Okay. So, just visit the website propertyentrepreneursnetwork.com or reach out to me on any of the social channels, LinkedIn. My name is Jack Dawhra, Dawhra as in Dawhra. We also have an event coming up on the 30th of March.
Mm.
We will provide, I promise you, I'm saying with a lot of humility, will blow your mind away with what we are about to share in those trainings. If you want to invest alongside us, you can do that. If you want to invest with us or us help you find deals, we can do that. There's loads of things that we can do behind the scene. I can find you below market deals, 10, 20, 25% discount all day long. Reach out to the team. If you message us on any of the social platforms, one of the team members will pick it up. They'll reach out to me, and then you can join the WhatsApp community, PEN. Loads of ways you can get in touch. And like I said, if you are not familiar on how to invest in good deals, reach out to us. We will help you with that. There's many other ways to grow your property portfolio, many creative and unique ways which most people don't know, unfortunately. And knowledge should not be one of the reasons that you struggle to grow your portfolio. So just reach out. That's all it is. Just reach out to us.
Okay. So you head it all for yourself. Property Entrepreneurs Network. Is it .com? Isn't it? .com. Yeah. So you can either Google it or put it in. Anywhere on your PC,
Anyway.
it will pop up. That's property.
Or just write my name on Google. You'll find me on pretty much all social commercial channels.
Yes. And Jack is always ready to help, as he said, and he's got very credible assistants as well that will be ready to help you, and your journey can start from there. So it's propertyentrepreneursnetwork.com.
That's right.
And get that and get in there. Is a whole community on its own. There's a world. There's a world.
There's a world in there. Yes.
Yeah.
I think you've seen that.
I keep telling people that, people think that it's just about the high street estate agents and that's it. And I'm like, no, there's a whole world of property industry that you people that have no idea, and they're like, where? How does this happen? So yeah, so there's a world out there, and if you want to learn, hey, Jack is ready with a team. So, yep, Jack, thank you so much once
Thank you,
again.
Bossman.
I know it's
Thank
very
you.
late out there, but then you stretch yourself for us. We're grateful. We'll connect behind the scenes and we'll take it from
Thank,
there. And have
thank
a
you.
good night, and our regards and love to the family as well.
Thank you. Thank you. You
Wonderful.
too.
All right then.
Pleasure.
Thank you. All right. Thank you, Jack. Okay, so you heard it for yourself. That is Mr. Jack Dawhra, and he has given us almost everything that you need to know. You have to go back to the um you have to go back to or do a replay on all the social media platforms that we're streaming and listen to this conversation. I believe that your life will never be the same. There's so much information. He talked about his challenges. I mean, he talked about his worst moment and how he has been able to overcome and where he is now. And now he's giving back to the community. So much that he talked about. And you know what? You can do even much more than what Jack has done. That is his joy, that those that he also spends time to invest in or give back to become just like him or even do much more. And that is what we're here for. So thank you for joining us. But hey, you know what? On the 10th, that's Sunday, at 2 p.m. UK time, you don't want to miss this. He is back again. The one and only Dr. Olumide Emmanuel is joining me on Faith Talk, and it's about his event. The event is titled "How to Create Wealth as a Career Person," and it's happening in London. It's going to be the 6th of April, and in Manchester the 14th. In Manchester the 14th, but in London at the O2 Arena Intercontinental Hotel, it's on the 6th of April. Now, the good news is that if you are a listener of Star Radio UK, look, he's going to talk about collaboration. He's going to talk about properties as well. But he's going to focus more about our community, how we can come together, or how you and your family or your young ones, if you have teenagers, look, it's a mind shift that will transform the next generation or even yourself. Because maybe you are 40, you are retiring. No, come on, you have to refire. Refill yourself and refire. It is possible to get that back in. There's energy on the inside of you. So he's going to be with me on Faith Talk this Sunday, 2 p.m. UK time. And we're going to talk about what the excuse that people give as believers. They give all kinds of excuses. We heard Jack talk about his belief system as to what keeps him going and what he's been able to achieve. You can do that as well. But Dr. Olumide Emmanuel is going to come from a different angle, from the spiritual side in the Christian dome, and how you can create wealth as a career person. Some of the secrets of wealth creation, and what you and I can derive from this event. It's been discounted for Star Radio UK listeners for 25% discount. So the full price is £200, but if you're the Star Radio UK listener, you get it for £150. £150, and the £150 ends this weekend. This particular weekend. This coming this coming weekend. So you have a choice to make use of the 25% discount. The numbers that are you would need is I've got the numbers here. If you're going to if you're going to be at the London event, this is the number: 073 68 66 073 68 if you want to be part of the London London event on the 6th of April next month. You can get a 25% discount. The full price is £200. You get a discount of 25%, which is 150, and you can register your teenagers, get them to be there. It's a life-changing event, and I believe that your life will never be the same. For those that are in Manchester, if you're looking to basically attend the Manchester event, is 078 2538 1810. That's 078 2538 1810, and that is for the Manchester event. And so and that's on the 14th of April, which I believe that if you want to attend this event, how to create wealth as a career person with Dr. Olumide Emmanuel. He's a wealth coach and a life coach as well, and he is going to invest his time, invest in you and I for our lives never to be the same. But he's joining me on the program on Sunday at 2 p.m. UK time. You can listen and make a decision from Sunday as well. You'll be blown away. So on Sunday, join me on Faith Talk with Dr. Olumide Emmanuel. It's going to be a life-changing moment. And as I wrap up on a very, very sad note, Ghana has lost one of the best brains and young upcoming politician, Dr. John Kuma, who the nation of Ghana lost as today. It's sad. It's sad if what is the news coming through is true. Then it's so sad. He was the deputy finance minister for the nation of Ghana. We say Demri Fedue to the wife, family, the wife, children, and family. Stay strong, stay positive, and God knows. And so, from us, from the studios of Star Radio UK tonight, we're ending on a sad note, but stay positive as well. Thank you. Join me this Sunday at 2 p.m. on Faith Talk with Dr. Olumide Emmanuel, creating wealth as a career person, strategies, and also secrets that you and I are going to learn. Thank you for making time to join me on the Property Hour show this evening with my guest, Mr. Dawhra. It's been a great time. Do a replay, keep sharing the link, and let somebody also learn if you want to get into the property industry. Next week, join me. It's going to be another awesome time. Okay, so a big shout out to all friends and family, and thank you. But let me also say that thank you to Keris Furniture, our sponsors. We're grateful. If you're looking to purchase your next interior deco or furniture for the office or for the home, look no further. Look no further. And I believe that Keris Furniture, one company on two continents, in Tema, Ghana, in Tema Community 25, they are at the Dawhra Estate Junction. That's a top oil petrol station, massive building. You can't miss it, and they will be more than happy to serve you. And you can also, I believe, on social media on Facebook is Kerry's Furniture, and also on Instagram as well, Kerry's Furniture. And in Atlanta, Georgia, Kerry's Furniture, you can't miss it. If they can deliver to your doorstep. If you order from, if you order from the US of A, that's Atlanta, Georgia, they can deliver to your doorstep anywhere in the world. Why don't you connect with them? That's Kerry's Furniture. Kerry's is KHARIS Furniture on Facebook and also on Instagram. Now, M&M Concept is amazing, creative and innovative company that designs all your graphics, all your graphic designs, and also they do banners and merchandise. Everything that's got to do with design and printing is M&M Concept. Katie and the team can give you a good deal, and also they are good with deadline. So don't miss out. You can give them a call via us on 0208 133 2257. That's 0208 133 2257, and they'll be able to sort you out with a discount of 15% if you do mention Star Radio UK. And last but not the least, it's www.cigpropertyuk.com. If you're looking to invest in your holiday home or your retirement home in Africa or in the UK, look no further. CIG Property, they'll be able to help you. They've got some amazing. If you're looking to buy through mortgage or cash buy, hey, look no further. CIG Properties will be able to work it out for you. www.cigpropertyuk.com or 0203 916 5588. That's 0203 916 5588. They'll be more than happy to be of help. And so, good night. I'm KB Bossman. I've been your host, and my guest tonight has been Mr. Jack Dawhra. Thank you. Good night. God bless. No stress. Stay positive and never give up for anything. You're next in line for that good news. So, let's wrap up now. Let's see what we can do. Okay.